So walking here at the top, it can be scary by the equipment that will be here is this way they provide are supposed to be hollow, like a hollow shape, so that when you rotate a big fan, it can be able to move like this way and it doesn't touch the ground. Yeah? So when I told you guys that we're going to do a project, so this is the project that we're doing so far. We began doing it somewhere last year, about 2 years ago, October, September, not September of 2027, 2023. But so far, this is the progress. Yeah. So far, this is the progress. So I want to show you guys some shots of it. And for now, we're just doing some simple stuff, and this is what's going on. But we're supposed to continue and complete it. So what you're doing is what you're doing is a workshop for mechanical work. So I did the design for the same. I hope when I'm editing the video I'll be able to attach the designs of the same here. But here we did the design for the same, the structural, architectural and structural. So you first do architectural drawings, then you do structural drawings. You take them to the county for approval processes. So we did, and we have installed some machines. It's supposed to have some machines for mechanical works. So here they will have the first machine, which will be used for dynamic balancing. So what was I saying? So technically, like, there are a number of machines which are supposed to be installed, and on one side you're going to have like on this entire end there will be machines. Also the plan is to have more somewhere here in the middle and more on this other end. This other end will be where people now can be able to work, and a truck can be able to come in and load or offload some equipment. So as of now, when it comes to like this one for installation, it comes with a drawing. The drawing comes from China, or the manufacturer will send a drawing that shows you the structural element on how you can be able to do it. But this one was pretty easy. It wasn't difficult as much. So if you see like this side, this is about from this side going downwards about 400 millimeters from this point. Like we did our first mixing to this point. I think it's about 400, or was it 300? About a feet, 1 foot going downwards. And then this other end, now our bolts begin from here. We did layers because we had to do the first one first to solidify, then now we do the bolts. Like this bolt, when you see it here, it goes all the way from somewhere here, but like I said, goes away to all the way to somewhere here. But like I said, we're given all that information by the manufacturer, so we just follow the drawing. And also here the ground here also there's more, about 300 millimeters again of reinforcement, with steel reinforcement, that is. But yeah, so the equipment that will be here is this way they provide are supposed to be hollow, like a hollow shape, so that when you rotate a big fan it can be able to move like this way and it doesn't touch the ground. Yeah? Doesn't touch the ground, so you don't have to put your machine higher. You can just put it somewhere here and it is able to rotate here, but it's not going all the way to the ground. And what you're doing so far, also there will be the crane. So the crane will be used to transport heavy equipment that from the factory. So for mechanical works, usually factories, they usually want to do stuff with repairs. Yeah? The guy that you're building this for is a reliability engineer. So reliability, the mechanical engineers who do something called reliability. It's more about monitoring and seeing if equipments are okay. Then you propose the right time for repairing and doing that stuff. So yeah, so there are some equipments which sometimes they can be heavy, like when you do balancing of equipment. Usually some are very heavy and you need to carry them to the construction site. You need to carry them from the factory. Design process, it was supposed to be a concrete structure. So it was supposed to be a concrete structure, but now along the way the client was going to use forklift to carry the load on the site. So my initial design was for concrete structure, but now along the way found some Chinese and they're offering better prices on this crane. So he decided to buy a crane. It's a 10-ton crane. He decided to buy a crane instead. So when you bought the crane, now is when we had to do more in terms of changes. And then this other end is where we have the toilets now. So the building is going to have toilets and change room as well. This was supposed to be for men. The other side will be for women. And this side we already done this slab on top of it. But this side we left it off because we're going to use a different type of floor slab on top of it, which is light in weight. We want to use light in weight because I spaced my beams. My beams are spaced 6.2 meters wide span and concrete beams. So because they are heavy concrete beams with a span of 6.2, there's a type of reinforcement that you do for it. So we did a special type of reinforcement on it to make sure that it carries the load. But now, so that we make sure that it's not really overstretched, we put a light slab on it. So we're going to use a type of slab here. It's called beams, precast beams. So we use precast beams on surface of it. Is very light in weight and it will be okay. But my reinforcement is okay, because we did double reinforcement at the bottom. There's some requirements that you have to follow sometimes when you do a long span beam. So I know usually when you talk about some other things with the likes of Lloyd on the channel, I'm usually very quiet, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm usually very versatile in it because this is something that I did at school for a long time and I've been practicing for a while. Like I said, now this other side now is going to be toilets for the other gender, women. But I think there'll be few, so most likely this is going to be men and the other side will be women. And this was supposed to be a shower. So every side you have a shower and change room. And on top we're going to place a slab for timber. Let me try to go on the top and show you the type of beams that we have on the top. So walking here at the top, it can be scary by day because we don't have I don't have safety belts by day. I don't have safety belts, but you're supposed to have them. But yeah, you're supposed to have safety belts, so it's a little bit scary, especially when you're walking like this and you're above the ground. This is like 3 meters. No, this is like about 3 point something meters. In feet, it will be around 9, no? About 10 feet above the ground. So when you look at the bottom, you feel scared. But usually it's just a mind thing. Like if I tell you to walk straight on this one, there's a high chance you might fall. But if I draw a line on the ground, on the floor of the ground, and even smaller than even the size of my shoes like this, and I tell you to walk on it, you walk on it. But if I elevate it above the ground, you might fail to walk on it. And that's the reason why stairs have rails, because there's a mind issue. When you go to high elevation, you feel like you might fall, but there's a high chance you might never fall. So the place that we are in, where we are building this structure, is called this side is in a county called Kajiado, and Kajiado is where the Maasais come from. If you go deep inside to see the Maasai, like I'm not sure if you can see some cattle, but there's some cattle that far end, and those cattle, they're for Maasai. They're more like the Maasai cattle. They're cattle from this side. They're used to eating grass. Even if it's dry like this, they can be able to eat it just perfect, and they grow very quickly in size. But this side is very dry. Like it hasn't rained since last year, I think. It hasn't rained, so the places that you see which are green are like these compounds because they have irrigation. Then if you see like this other guy, he has irrigation. This is a guy from the US. He came to Kenya. He's an American guy. He even speaks with the American accent, but he has been in Kenya for a while. He moved to Kenya, he bought the land and settled here. He doesn't live here though. Doesn't live here. He just does farming. The house that you see belongs to the person who manages this place, like the farm manager. But he's doing farming, and it's amazing what he's doing. It's amazing. Anyway, so most people, like if you see that place where there's trees, it's greener, it means there's a borehole somewhere there. So greener places have borehole, but most people don't have. So you don't see farming. The land is dry like this. And most people from this side, the people who come from this side, they usually don't do farming of vegetables or groceries or stuff. Like for them, they do animal farming, and animal farming is known to be like to make them a lot of money. So that's what they do. But now when it becomes dry, sometimes their cattle dies and they don't have where to drink water. They don't have where to drink water, and again, there's no place to grass, so they die. But the good thing about their cattle, they're very good when it comes to using little water, so they don't require a lot of water, and they grow in size very quickly. But also the land this side is very fertile. If it rains today and you come like 2 days later, you will find it being like green, very very green. So that's the good thing about this side. But the downside is there's no rain. It can go for weeks without any rain. That's the downside about it. But yeah, but people live here, they adapted to it. And also this side land tends to be somehow cheaper. Although now with most people coming and buying them, it makes them expensive. Like most of the lands along the road, like this one belongs to someone else who doesn't come from here. Like you see that land which is fenced, it means belongs to someone else. So they've come and bought lands along the road because the road is paved and the soil on this side is called black cotton. So black cotton is very bad. When you see it, it looks like black cotton is very bad. So when it rains, there's no way for vehicles to access the interior. It becomes very very difficult. So that's why for them they come and buy the ground, or they buy the land along the roads and they sell it to other people now who want to come and do developments. So it's a good plan, and they came when it was cheaper. So the thing is, people this side, they've been selling land and they they want to use money for other things. So they sell their land, and one you can buy like 30 or 50 acres